Hey guys, ElegantMess from the Mad Dog Gaming Clan. Today we're going to do a video on some PC water cooling, and to cover the unit we are going to be using a XSPC Raystorm 750 water cooling kit. This is a kind of like an intermediate kit. It's not a self-enclosed unit like the Corsair H100 or something similar of that nature. It has a full reservoir pump, water block, radiator, so all of this stuff is going to have to go into the case, measure the tubing, cut it, bring it back out, fill it, bleed it, and reinstall it back into the system. So this is the reservoir pump combo. It's the front is clear like the top, but it's got a plastic covering on it, and it has a hole in the back of it right there for a LED light. So the front panel that goes on it, you'll be able to see the water level in it. Plus it'll also match the rest of the color scheme for the case. It does come with two 120mm fans, and I have two more already in the top of the case, so I'll be able to do a push-pull configuration on the radiator. These are all the back plates. This kit does come with two different styles of receptacles for the block itself. This is your AMD one, which I will be using, and then this is your Intel one. So that comes right off the block. This is the block, and it's got a protective coating. Just peels right off. And then on the block, I don't know if you can see it, on the right hand side it's labeled N. So it tells you in which direction the flow is going to be going. Just place that right over, and that's how it's going to sit over the processor. And with this particular one, this also has two holes on the top and the bottom for two more LEDs, so you'll see the backlighting through the sides and the center of the water block. This is the LED for the reservoir, the double LED for the water block. It does come with some thermal compound. What is this? This is XSPC's brand. It's called K2. I have Arctic Silver 5, so I'll be using that. The fittings for the block itself, they're spring-loaded with two screws on it. So the one goes in, tightens it to the board. The other one puts the pressure on the spring to keep even pressure over the block itself. All the barbs for the reservoir, radiator, and pump. But instead of those, we are going to be using Monsoon's chrome compression fittings, which I think are going to look pretty nice. Hey. Also comes with two grates for the fans, so nobody cuts their fingers off. Also going to need a funnel to fill up through the top of the reservoir here, which is a nice easy access. What else do we have? The case itself. I will also be covering a full rebuild of the Corsair 600T. Nice applique on the window, the half skull. And if you've seen any of the other videos, I have backlit LED lighting over the window at the top of the case itself, and then another one that goes behind the motherboard. So this is a UV blue liquid, non-conductive. So if it leaks, it says it will not conduct electricity. But any fluids with electrical components, not a good idea. So obviously we'll test the system outside of the computer beforehand, and to do so we will be powering it. It does come with a 24-pin monkey, which you could just attach right to your power supply, and this fools the power supply into thinking there's a motherboard there. This also can be done with a paper clip, which I will not be doing. I will be using an external power source. It has a 4-pin Molex connector on it. This is actually for the a hard drive conversion, or data transfer, excuse me, that you can transfer data from, say, an old hard drive to a new hard drive, so you can keep your operating system, things of that nature. And with it, it comes with a little power supply. And this is all that I'll need to actually power the pump itself as I'm testing it. So for the process of this, take the case, and I will probably empty it completely out. Do a loose fitting of all the components. I'm going to put the radiator, or the reservoir pump combo in the front here. I will just loosely place it in there. Put the radiator in just kind of loosely, and with the water block. That way you can measure the length of tubing from, you know, all of your components, cut it to its desired length, take everything out, place it together, fill it, and start, you know, filling your loop with the liquid, with the coolant, excuse me, and then start bleeding the system, and then we'll let it run for a few hours. It does say to let it run for 24 hours before actually using it. 24 hours, I may say, is a little extensive, but, you know, to each his own. So we will we'll get the case torn apart here, and we'll get started. Okay, so got our case, pretty much everything disconnected. Got the power supply disconnected, video card out, and this is the cooler that I'm replacing. It's the Zalman 9700, and this thing is phenomenal. It's like 900 grams of copper. Like this is a great cooler. I have had zero problems with it. My temperatures have been amazing. With I've got a 24/7 overclock at about 4.2 on this FX 8150 AMD processor, and that is on the ASRock Fatality Pro 990FX motherboard. So, just wanted to give you guys a quick look there. So, at this point that we have everything out, I'm going to go ahead, take the two Cooler Master Sickle Flow fans out. I'm going to use these two, and then the two that came with the radiator unit, to do a push-pull configuration. Just got to make sure everything's going to fit okay, and we'll get started for measuring the tubing, and go from there. Okay, so now that the processor is out, cleaned off, and I've got the socket empty at this point, I've got the fans and the radiator just slightly screwed in just to keep it in place, and the reservoir in the front bay there we can go ahead and start getting our measurements for the tubing. Now, these plastic clips for the AM3 plus socket, these plastic clips are going to be coming right off, and the water block is going to be going over just like this. And so from there, we have a pretty good idea of what the length of the tubing is going to need to be like. So get out your tape measure, and we'll start measuring and cutting, and from there we'll take everything back out, put all the fittings on the radiator and the pump and on the water block, and then fit all the tubing to it, and then we should be ready to start filling it up. So we'll get back to it once everything's cut up. Oh yes, I also wanted to mention that when doing the tubing, once you have it cut, under your tubing, this is the outside piece of the compression fitting. So, compression fittings, once you take them apart, they have little rubber grommets, and you're going to take one and put them on each end of it. So this one is going to get screwed in from this side, so that one makes the seal to either the radiator, the water block, pump, whichever, and then this side gets another one, so when it goes into the hose, compression fitting, it goes over it, and the compression fitting tightens right to it, and it makes a good seal. So just about done getting all the tubing cut and everything, so I'm going to finish this up. I figured I'd just add that in just in case anybody has not used these compression fittings. So yeah, I'll get the stuff finished, cut it up, measured out, and we'll keep going. Okay, so I've got everything measured and cut, put together. All the fittings are tightened up, and we should be good to go to get started on a leak test here. So this is our reservoir pump combo, and the out is from the pump itself, so we're going out of the pump to the rad, from the rad to the inlet on the water block, and then from the out of the water block back into the pump. So very simple loop. How it's set up here, how it's set up here is just how it's going to be in the computer. Rad's going to be elevated from the water block, because obviously, or from the reservoir, because that's going to be going in the front bay. And the water block will be situated just like this. So this is the orientation that the tubing is going to be in. So as you can see, it should be pretty good flow, no kinks or anything, and it should give me a little bit of leeway just in case I need to add fluid later. I'll still be able to slide the reservoir out a little bit so I can fill it up using a funnel. Set up. ahead and get our cap off. And our EC6 non-conductive UV blue coolant. With our test power supply. Make sure this is off. Off. And we'll need our funnel. And you can see the lines starting to fill up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Well, I can tell already, fitting on the bottom, it's got a leak. This is why we do this. That's the other nice part about using a colored liquid or colored coolant. You can see when you're having problems. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tilted so I can retighten this one, and we'll keep going. Okay, so it turns out that the one compression fitting on the inlet for the reservoir just didn't seem to make a really good seal on it for some reason, and I wound up having to use one of the barbs instead of the compression fitting. Which is fine because it's going to sit in the hard drive bay and you won't really see it anyways. But still, it should fit for the price of them. It's like $35–40 for the compression, for the chrome compression fittings. But we'll see. So far, it looks all right. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, that was definitely the problem, so stop leaking. Go ahead and connect the power back up again. Nothing else seems to be leaking, so that's good. Okay, well, as it turns out, the little power adapter I wanted to use didn't want to work. So we're going to go ahead and try this with the power supply with the jumper on it and see how it goes. There we go. And as you can see, all the little air bubbles coming out. That's what we're looking for. Now, it does look like the loop is pretty much filled up all the way, which is good. This 1 liter should be plenty of coolant for a single loop like this. So. Cap it off, just in case. We're going to keep an eye on this, rock it back and forth a little bit, make sure we get all the air bubbles out. So I just want to keep it enclosed while we do that, just to keep from spilling any. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Turn it on and off a couple of times, see how it goes, get all the air bubbles out, and we should be able to get finished up. Okay, so it's been running for a little bit here. Move it around a little bit, just make sure we get all the air bubbles out. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple still in there. There we go. Oh yeah. Still no leaks, so that's good. Everything else looks alright. Couple of little bubbles in the line still. Looks good. I'm happy. it looks like the inlet for the pump itself is going to be on this side right here. It's going to be right here on the bottom side of it. Yeah, the inlet for the pump is right here. So the water level can actually get pretty low, although it's not. It's pretty much full. And still have a little bit of coolant left over. I don't know if you can really see it. The air bubbles in the line here. This is what we need to get out. All these here. So we're going to let this run for a little bit. Leak test looks good thus far, so we're just going to leave it, let it run, and the air bubbles will pretty much work themselves out. So once this is all done, bleeding and everything, we'll get it in the case, which is, I'm not going to take it apart. I'm going to leave it all together as is. Sorry. I'm going to leave it together as is, and that way, obviously, because there's no leaking or anything at this point, so it's good. So just take the water block and the rad and bring it in right through the front bay of the computer, because this sits on a rail here, but there's no slots for it in the on the front plate of it, so you can't just slide it in from the back. So the whole unit as a whole will slide in from the front of the PC. It's doable with one person. Not the easiest thing, but it's doable. So yeah, we'll get back to it in a little bit. Okay, so at this point we've got it slid into place. So here's our front reservoir. I'll take the plastic off this. Front reservoir. The fans on the top. And the radiator right underneath. Sorry, the lighting's a little bad now. And here's our water block. As I said, just slid it in right from the front drive of the bay. Took the water block and the radiator together and slid them in. First holding the reservoir, and just slid them straight in. And then I'm using the screws for the fans. They go right through the top, right into the top side of the radiator to keep it secured. It looks like everything's lined up. I've got two in place just to keep it up there, so I've got my hands free now. This way, when not doing things, I'll have these two plus the front 200mm fan and the back 120mm other Coolmaster Sickle Flow I have connected to the top fan control, which I have in the BIOS turned all the way up, so whatever adjustments I do when I turn this up cranks them all the way up to their highest RPM. So feels pretty secure. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this reservoir pump combo is the placement. They only put 2 screw holes on each side. And with this case, with the screwless drives, I might have to pop these ones out just to secure it. At this point, my levels are good for coolant. Excuse me. So I'm not too worried about that. I can always add more later. And then, yeah, all I've got left to do is reseat the processor, apply the thermal paste, and tighten down the plate for the water block, and should be good to go. So once I get this secured and get the processor in, get the thermal paste on and all that stuff, we'll get back and take one last look at it. Okay, everything's in. I just got to put in the graphics card, but I figured I'd give you a look here. There's the water block installed. The radiator right above it. Going to the reservoir. 2 fans on top. And there's the reservoir right here. And this little window here will light up. There's a blue LED behind it. Other than that, I think I got to do a little cable management, but we can get to that later once I make sure everything's all set. So we'll get it set up and see how she looks. Hey, what's up, guys? ElegantMess again. We are all set with the water cooling. Everything's installed, set up. The system's been bleeded, and everything seems to be working good. I'm getting some good temperatures, and yeah, we'll give you a look, see how it goes. Okay, so get a nice little look at the system here. Throw up a little BF3 sniper montage. There's the front view, right through the reservoir here. Got the half skull at pleat through the window. There's that loop there. Radiator underneath. Reservoir in the back. Get the lights on here and take a little closer look at it. Now all I gotta do is mute the sound, and that'll automatically shut off the LED lighting. That's all sound activated LEDs. You can see that on another video. Did a strip around the outside window. There's another strip that goes all the way around the motherboard. And then on the top of the case, there's one that goes all the way around. And fan controller works on the top two fans, the rear 120, and the front 200mm fan. I have those all connected together for the front fan control. Quite a significant difference. So here's a look at the water block. That has two LEDs on either side of it that go right into the block. And then the same with the back of the reservoir. Let's see if you can see it here. Probably not. Yeah. Oh, the LED in the back of the reservoir is what allows you to see through the front of it to tell your levels for your coolant. So I don't know if you'll be able to see the radiator in this lighting. Definitely not. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it thus far. I haven't run prime yet. So in regards to temperatures, I can tell you that just on idle here, see it on open hardware monitor here maybe. Actually here, I'll throw you right up on core temp. Idle temps get about 15 degrees C. So that's not bad at all. That's really good. So I'm very happy with this unit. The unit itself, $150. Coolant, $15. Chrome compression fittings, $35. It was under $200 for everything. And with these temperatures, that's pretty good. So we will go ahead. Open up Battlefield. Oh yeah. Say hello, Ghost Recon. Hello. Throw this back up on the tripod. Edit. Obviously. So we'll do a little bit of Battlefield 3 run through, show you, edit. So we'll do a little Battlefield 3 play through real quick, see what type of temperatures we're getting in game, and we can go from there. Make sure you guys got a good angle on this, so my big fat head's not in the way.
volume for effect here. Oh, and also with the Logitech G19 keyboard, we use an open hardware monitor. You can get focus here, and that'll display your temps right on the keyboard. You can also scroll through GPU, memory, all that. For this case, I'll leave it right on the CPU temps. We can't lose this. For the video card, using a MSI GeForce GTX 680 4 gig version. Oh, got me with an aid. Temperature-wise, hitting about 23 degrees Celsius. Very happy with that. Oh, they're all over. Give you a good look at core temp here. Show you what that's doing. Sorry, just adjusting the camera here. Yeah, about 23 degrees, 24. You died. Revive all of you. Oh, you bastard. Oh, Bang's on the other team. And this is our server, the Mad Dog, our Mad Dog gaming server. We also just got 4 servers for Medal of Honor for PC. So look for those if you're playing. bada bang. Oop, I'm down. So yeah, about 24 degrees looks like we're sitting at, so I'm very happy with that. Yeah, 24. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so that's our water cooling install, setup, lead. This is more of a intermediate type of water cooling solution. Beginners, I would stick more with like a Corsair H100. It's all self-enclosed. You're not adding any liquids, but they also have a tendency not to do so well, and I've had friends that had them leak and stuff like that. So it's, you know, kind of hit or miss. I don't know. I've never used one, so I can't really say. But with this solution, financially, it's very cost effective, and obviously with these kind of temps, it's worthwhile, definitely. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to ask. This is my first water cooling system, so you know, feel free to leave all the noob comments that I'm a retard. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like.